Beginning of Aquarius season, the water bearer. Yesterday was a balance point day with the moon in Libra, and the change from Capricorn to Aquarius, which is really the very center of winter. So that's why that New Year's is such a confusing thing, because you get all like, yeah, I'm gonna do this and that, and then, whoa, no, we're still in winter, especially if you get seasons. In Northern California, we're not having much rain, but the water bearer is supposed to bring the rains, pouring out from the urn or the cup. And I've been reading about the cell salts for Aquarius and the deficiencies that may occur if you burn through these salts and haven't replenished them with foods, which is very hard to do. The book I'm reading is from the early 1900s, and they're talking about the deficiency and the soil being not what it used to be. I don't know when it was good, but the 20s it was not good, according to this book, which is The Salts of Salvation by Carey and Perry. And this book is amazing, actually, because it gives a lot of context to what they were thinking in that age with homeopathy and astrology, and how they were referring to it as a very materialistic age, which I think that's interesting, because some would say we're in that now. And that allopathic doctors are making up all these words for diseases that really, according to homeopathy, are deficiencies. Not necessarily disease. Disease comes from deficiency. So the biochemistry of the tissue cell salts, they're pretty amazing. And something I learned about Aquarius salt and Aquarians in general is that the salt is like table salt, but you can't just eat table salt because it will not be absorbed by the blood. It's like too large to be absorbed by the blood. And it's funny because I was friends with an Aquarian who put so much salt on his food. I was like, oh my God. But literally what happens to him too is that he will, if inactive, fall asleep. So there's something around, so he knew he needed those salts, but didn't quite know how to get it in to regulate the water in the body. So that's what the Aquarian salts do. They attract water and they move water through the body, because literally what's happening is either you are too dry if you're deficient or too wet. So too much water is like your brain is drowning. So when you're inactive, you just fall asleep. And I remember another person I know is Aquarius rising would almost fall asleep driving. So, and I have another friend who has to take naps all the time because her brain is drowning, literally. So it's interesting because I've been taking this salt for a couple weeks and I love it. It's like I have a lot more mental alertness, and I can feel. It also regulates the spine, or it gets into the lower vertebrae of the spine. So it's regulating the white blood cells. And then Pisces regulates the red blood cells. So balancing yourself with this salt is important. They talk about some of the features of an Aquarian deficient in the salt is they'll have like a pencil neck, really small neck. They call it a U-neck. Not a eunuch, but a eunuch. EWE. And I thought that was interesting because it's a, a telltale sign you could see on a person if their neck is super thin and small, that they need more of this salt. And I find myself, it's like if you're tired, weary when you tired when you wake up, and of course it's winter or whatever, but I definitely have that. And when I take the salts, I don't have that. I get up, I wake up ready to go. So there's definitely something happening with these cell salts when you take them. And part of the work I'm doing now is I'm incorporating, because I do the vibrational work to change the energy of disturbances in the body. And then I'll look at, of course, I use the chart, your astrology chart for everything. And then I will take that information along with whatever disturbances you had and then apply the salts that you may need. And then that will support the work too. So it's just like amazing how these things have come to me, and through just being curious and open and really wanting to know more about vibration and this reality. I'm also doing a lot of deep diving into the old books and how they connected to, well, they were stories of astrotheology. And astrotheology is fascinating because it is an astrological tale of the 12 zodiacs, the 12 signs, and they each have these characteristics and connections and the flow from one sign to the next. And then being able to see in the sky, watching the sun, and you create like a sky wheel of the zodiac and you can see where the sun is throughout the day. So I'm still trying to sort that out, but there is a way to really place yourself here through these old systems that were meant to help us balance. And so the sun has a vibration and a frequency, and it also lights the moon, right? So there's two different harmonics happening together in each sign. So now we're in Aquarius energy. So we're going to be in Aquarius energy all month. And then the moon is going to also be playing a tune within that frequency. And then how we can really tune in to the different placements of the sun and moon and how it moves, how they both move. So there's a lot to understanding that system, but already having a background in astrology, it's helping me because I already know the path of the wheel and the characteristics of the signs and all the planets that rule them. And so, but it's really very grounding. And also when you start looking at the sun and moon and their path, it's quite amazing, actually. And it really gets you questioning cosmology and some of the things that we've been taught about cosmology may not be what we thought. So, happy Aquarius season, the water bearer, bring the rains. We're ready for more rain. It's time.